Disney's animation arms, and there's two of them. There's Disney Animation and there's Pixar, both under the umbrella of Disney. Actually, for a long time, they both had the same head guy, John Lasseter, before he unceremoniously left. He was the head of both Disney Animation and Pixar. So they're very, very connected, these things. So Disney Animation, the last number of years have not had a good run of things for the most part. The pandemic hit, and with this new shiny Disney Plus toy they had, Bob Chapek, in all of his wisdom, decided it was a good idea to put all the upcoming films directly onto Disney Plus. So you had really good movies like Soul, not one of Pixar's best, but Soul, Luca, a fabulous movie in Turning Red, all went straight to Disney Plus. And then they made their return to theaters with Lightyear, a movie that had one of the best opening acts that I've seen in an animated film in a long time. Unfortunately, acts 2 and 3 didn't quite live up to that. Then they came out with Strange World, which if you're going, what movie? Yeah, nobody saw it. Then they did Elemental, and now Wish. Wish is now in theaters. And I've already told you guys, I do not think this was a good movie at all. Don't get me, it's not utter garbage or anything like that. It's not like Burn It with Fire, but it's not a good movie, in my opinion. Now, there are people out there who like it, and that's awesome. I'm not going to try to talk anybody out of liking it. For me, it didn't work. I already gave my review of it. Well, unfortunately, since Disney Animation has returned to theaters, they have not had a track record of success. And Wish is bombing. Wish only had a $19 million opening weekend, which is not good. And it kind of continues a pattern. Take a look at this. So if we go back to the first one that came out, Lightyear, had a decent opening, right? Everybody was interested. Decent opening, $50 million. But word of mouth got out pretty quick. The movie's not very good. And there was a lot of confusion about it, and it only ended up making $226 million in total. Strange World, which nobody remembers because it was a bad film, I thought, only opened to $12 million and only ended up making a grand total of $73 million. Now, the one outlier in all this seems to be Elemental. Elemental comes out and it had a very disappointing opening, $29 million, to which everybody said, okay, well, this thing's going to flop. I mean, only a $29 million opening. It was not good. The saving grace of Elemental, though, is that it's a freaking fantastic movie. I mean, better than everything else on this list. Elemental was a great movie. And so word of mouth started spreading about it. People were going back multiple times. They started bringing other people to go see it. And all of a sudden, this movie that only opened with $29 million made about $500 million at the box office. Not the most successful Pixar effort ever, but man, did it turn it around from that opening weekend. And now you got Wish that opened to significantly less than Lightyear, a lot less than Elemental, just a little above what Strange World. Now, you could say, well, John, couldn't Wish do what Elemental did? Elemental opened low, really low, and yet it had that staying power, it had that legs, went on to make $500 million. Couldn't the same thing happen with Wish? And I would say, possible? Sure, but doubtful, because unlike Wish, Elemental was wonderful. Like, Elemental is just a fantastic movie, period. Not a fantastic animated film, not a fantastic kids film. It's a fantastic film. It's a wonderful movie. Wish is not. Now, that's a purely subjective opinion, granted, but my opinion is the only opinion I have. So I'm going to tell you what my opinion is. Wish is not a great movie. I do not believe people are going to be clamoring to go back to see it 3 or 4 times. I'm sure there will be some children that do, but I don't think a lot of people are going to be clamoring to go back to see it 3 or 4 times. I don't think it's going to be a thing where people go out and tell others, man, you got to see this thing, like they did with Elemental. We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Rocket Money. Do you struggle to save money every month? With Rocket Money, you can quickly identify all those sneaky subscriptions that keep charging you month after month and cancel any you no longer use. For example, did you know that over 80% of people have subscriptions that they've completely forgotten about? It's too easy to subscribe to a free trial of something and then completely forget about it once you stop using it. That's why I'm such a big fan of Rocket Money. I've told you guys before that when I started using Rocket Money, I realized that I was still subscribed to a gym in another city I had moved away from 2 years ago. Also, my music service? Yeah, I found out I was still subscribed to 2 others. How much do you think you're paying a month on subscriptions? Most people think they're paying $80 a month, but they're actually paying closer to $200. That's why I use Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. With Rocket Money, you can easily cancel the ones you don't want with just the press of a button. With over 5 million users and counting, Rocket Money has helped save its customers on an average of $720 a year and $1 billion in total savings so far. So stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and manage your money the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/Campea. That's rocketmoney.com/Campea. rocketmoney.com/Campea. So, Rob, I mean, this kind of continues this theme of couple of years of struggle for Marvel because, okay, we're stumbling a bit with Star Wars. It's okay. We still got animation. We still got Marvel. Well, now they're struggling with Star Wars and Marvel. Okay, no problem. We still got animation. Well, now they're struggling with Star Wars and Marvel and their animation. And again, the outlier here for animation is Elemental. Fantastic movie. It's great. But you got Soul straight to home video. You got Luca straight to home video. You got Turning Red straight to home video. They come out in theaters again with Lightyear. It falls on its face. They do Strange World. It stood ignored in the corner at the dance and never got invited once onto the floor. Elemental, fantastic. And now Wish comes out. Again, a subpar movie and very bad opening at the box office. How do you interpret this whole thing?
Well, to me, look, the way they make films, John, it's very iterative. They storyboard everything. They see if it works. They watch it in storyboard form or animatic form over and over and over again. And they make it, they keep making it until they think it's great. I feel like their process, I mean, both Marvel and their animation division, I feel I don't understand what's going on there. I don't understand where it's faltering because, you know, if you look at Pixar's past, they were one of the most surefire guarantees of not just a hit film, but of a great story well told. And you look at, I mean, I remember seeing Tangled. I'm like, I didn't want to go see it.
That's a delightful little movie.
A delightful movie. And I thought I was enchanted by it. And, you know, with the Frozen films, it surprises me because I know they had really high hopes for this film. But how could they? I just don't understand. I mean, I haven't seen it. I didn't go see it. But I'm a Disney fan. And when something like this happens, I have to scratch my head and wonder, they had to have known. The whole thing about animation is it's such a long process that you should be able to tell if a movie works or not. And I don't understand how come they don't. That didn't used to be the case.
By the way, people in the live chat are reminding me, I was walking around the office saying, I'm thinking we're missing one Disney animated film. It wasn't this year or last year, but the year before, there was also Encanto. Remember that?
Right.
But Encanto, again, didn't do great. There were some extenuating circumstances. Encanto only made $256 million. Now, that is more than what, say, Lightyear made. But again, not super successful. It produced one of the most catchy songs. We Don't Talk About Bruno. It produced, and you know what? I like Encanto. It's a nice little movie. It's no Elemental, but I thought it was a nice little movie. So there was that one I forgot as well. But again, it's another one that underperformed. Granted, it has some asterisks beside that because of some extenuating circumstance that we don't need to go into. But I mean, Rob, let me ask you this though. And I don't know if this is a way far out there thing, but we all know that from when a movie starts its development, it's like 3 years away from actually ending up on screen, right? So there's many, many years that pass between when something's first kind of given the green light to go into production and stuff like that to get developed. Is it totally crazy to wonder if some of this demise, not demise, that's too strong of a word, but some of this decline we've seen in the results and the success of Disney animation is in any way connected to the departure of John Lasseter? Because remember, John Lasseter, who's like the founding godfather of Pixar, he was the granddaddy, he oversaw all that stuff. Pixar and Disney animation was kind of living in its high life while he was there. He leaves, a few years pass. This is just off the top of my head, but do you think any of this has anything to do with the fact that you don't have Lasseter there running things anymore?
I think it absolutely does. And I think, look, making these kinds of things, again, is extremely difficult. You need really talented people that really, animation, you know, our friend Kevin Rubio, I used to work with Kevin Rubio editing promos for Kids WB. And Kevin would write the promos and I would cut them. And I was always astonished by Kevin's way of thinking. And I'm like, I could never think that way. You have to have an animation brain to do great animation. And I don't think that everybody can do it. I think it's to do great animation is definitely a skill set that is rare, especially to do it really, really, really well. And clearly their brain trust. I mean, John Lasseter was one of a kind. He was, let's call him the GOAT of the modern animation era. And by not having somebody who understands the animation, the art of animation, storytelling the way he does, I don't think we should underestimate how much that could have cost Disney animation.
And by the way, we are not discussing about why he got fired or should he, but we're just saying that,
no,
like, he's not there anymore. Okay. But like, is there a cause and effect there? By the way, I don't mean that as a criticism on Pete Docter or any of the other execs over there, but it is hard to see. Now, that being said, you know, going back a little bit further, Turning Red was amazing. I thought Soul was really quite good. I didn't love Luca, but I thought Luca was cute. But that was all relegated onto Disney Plus. Anyway, it's really kind of a mess over there. But again, it's just, man, listen, I know a lot of people try to get the excuses out and dip way deep into the excuses bag, but I'm just telling you, it's just everything at Disney has just been off since Bob Chapek took over. It's just, and again, I'm not drawing a direct line between a bad cartoon and Bob Chapek. I'm just saying, it just coincidentally, it seems to do that. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.